Hello viewers! In the first episode it was all shit and giggles, storytime mode. Now, it's time to get serious. But first, I'd like to explain what exactly am I doing here. I mean, I probably should have done it in the first episode, but better late than never. I've played WoW quite a bit during my school years, and my favorite part of the game was always raiding.
Big heals on me! Big heals on me! You can't listen! Finish! Finish!
I've mostly played Lich King during that time. I mean, I've leveled some in Burning Crusade and of course played a bit of vanilla. But Lich King always was my favorite expansion. However, every time I've happened to jump in, it was already in the last phase when there was not much variety in raiding. It basically boiled down to running Icecrown Citadel over and over again, and occasionally listening to raid leaders' rants about no one doing the mechanics in a rare Trial of the Crusader run. So despite the fact that I have north of 1,000 hours played overall, I've never raided anything except ICC and TOC. I might have raided a few times in Cataclysm, but no one likes Cataclysm, so that doesn't count. That's why when I saw the launch of Wrath of the Lich King happening, I knew that this was my chance to play my favorite expansion in a way I've never done before. During the pre-patch for Lich King, I was recruited by a guild that was planning to raid through the whole expansion. But I was just a fresh newbie in that guild, so no one would take me seriously when it gets to raiding. The guild name was Whack a Gnome, so according to our motto, the first thing I did upon arrival was to whack a gnome with a fire shock, which allowed him to gracefully fuck off and die to a dot, and me to continue my leveling. I had my work cut out for me. Raids will open in a week after the launch, and the first reset is 3 days later, so I had no time to waste. I need to get to level 80 and acquire at least some semblance of the pre-raid gear before Naxxramas opens its gates. When I came to the first quest location, I was met by the manifestation of an absolute WoW gamer buffoonery. It didn't come as a shock that there are people who mom would call not the brightest that play this game, but this time it was on a completely different level. About 20 people were just spam clicking the quest item and resetting the timer of the quest mob's arrival, which resulted in no one being able to progress on this questline. And if you think, well, they should have figured that out after a while, they didn't. About half an hour later, I came back to the same place, and still no one was able to complete the quest. To my surprise, despite the fact that this place was swarming with Alliance scum, it was quite peaceful, but I wanted blood, so with no regard, I've attacked the first rogue that popped into my sight.
No fucking way!
Gotcha, bitch!
Oh my god! No way, I'm dead! No shot! What is this terrible game? What is this terrible game? What are we talking about?
Wait, did I become just like them? Am I bad? That seemed so uncalled for. But that's when I remembered that the rogues are the scum of theirs class, played exclusively by extremely toxic and annoying people. So I wiped off all my regrets and immediately got jumped by a guy who I suspect to be his pimp. And with his friend Shaman spam healing him to the brim, I stood no chance. I guess karma is real, but since they didn't give me a fair 1v1, there's only one conclusion. Alliance players are gay. I waited for them to leave and reincarnated, and then, I shit you not, I got killed by a fucking feral druid, who killed me like a million times while I was leveling in Stranglethorn Vale. To this day, I remember his name. Unfortunately, I don't have the footage for this, so please enjoy this carefully crafted reconstruction of the events. It was a wonderful sunny day in Stranglethorn Vale. I was peacefully killing tigers on my level 30 warrior, minding my own business. When out of nowhere, this level 40 motherfucker jumped me. And one kill on a heavily underleveled warrior A class that is practically useless against Druid even if I was 10 levels higher, wasn't enough for him. This absolute third of a human spawn camped the shit out of me, killing me again and again for like 20 minutes straight. It came to the point where I had to get onto my other max level character, travel from the Outland all the way to Stranglethorn Vale. You can imagine that it would take quite a while to get there, and when I finally arrived like 10 or 15 minutes later, I found this shithead lurking by the nearest tree to my corpse. After a few kills on him, he managed to land a stun, break the distance, and run away. I've chased him down to the coast where he shifted into the water form and fucked off within the depths of the ocean. And there he was, catching me off guard again, with no mana and no cooldowns. Now when I'm a shaman, I have all the tools I need to come out on top. So after doing a quick corpse walk, I made sure that I had most of my cooldowns ready and resurrected. But unfortunately, he was nowhere to be seen. With nothing else left to do, I finally got to questing and making some progress on my leveling. I finished my task of scanning the suspiciously glowing underwater crack that surely did not emit deadly radiation levels. That got me to level 71. Making sure that I'm not susceptible to arcane radiation, mages decided I'd be a great candidate to hunt down a member of the opposing mage gang. To make sure I bring him alive, they gave me a special tool that can subjugate the weaker-minded fellas. After escorting the freshly acquired mind slave to the Amber Ledge, I was told to go talk to the local BDSM master, since he might have a task at hand for me. The master, whom they inconspicuously call Librarian Normantis, gave me a highly responsible task of torturing their trapped op so the librarian himself can film it all.
Enough chit-chat. I'm being paid
3 gold, 70 silver.
to torture you.
The guy had some confidence, so I had to get creative.
Just this pours hot fire out on you.
Okay, let's see what their tool does.
Check out this bad boy.
Now we're talking.
You won't be talking so much smack with this up your butt.
And that's how I mastered the art of persuasion. When I carefully washed my hands and came out of the tower, there was this Druid multi-boxer who made an unwise decision to jump off the cliff, which lit up an idea in my head.
Something just came across my desk, John. It is perhaps the best thing I've seen in the last 6 months. If you have 60 seconds, I'd like to share the idea with you. You got a minute?
Even dying a few minutes later to another full sweat, no shower. Druid multi-boxer couldn't ruin the sweet delight of that victory. My next destination was the Taunkale village, home of my distant relatives, the Tonka. Despite having that cozy and familiar vibe, the once beautiful land they've settled on is now on the brink of death. You would think, damn scourge, spreading death and decay on the sacred lands of Tonka. But the scourge is completely unrelated to the true reason of the decline. The main cause is the camp that those filthy, ungodly gnomes established on the other side of geyser fields. Not only is it now filled with enraged spirits and toxic spiders, it is now also swarming with extremely annoying robots that are used by the aforementioned gnomes to extract oil. The oil rigs poisoned all the fort-dwelling animals and led to a complete obliteration of all the flora. Only after writing this part have I started to see some resemblance. I could not just stand back and observe the downfall of my relatives, so I've decided to get my hands on any tasks they might have for me. For some weird and unexpected reason that involved escorting the donkey across the border with, for legal purposes, an undisclosed cargo. But I can't just turn my back on people in need. We all need to spread kindness.
I gotta give it. I'll tell everybody. Yes.
After that, I've de-escalated the situation with enraged spirits, snatched some gnomish robotic parts in the field for what I've got yelled at by a local robo-Karen. And... oh wait a second, my cue popped. Give me that, and give me that as well. Well, that could have been avoided, have I known that I have a button to dispel the shit that killed our whole group. But good thing we could all blame the DK for pulling an extra pack. Then I've killed some more robots, watched how this priest dies to 5 mobs after tagging my quest mob, tried to help out a fellow Alliance DK, who apparently took it as an offense and thought he will lose the glory of killing a regular mob on one of the most overpowered classes in Lich King. And that was it for the Borean Tundra. Like, I've done some more quests, but nothing really interesting happened, so let's say I've just hearsed out of this boring ass location and went on to continue my adventures elsewhere. To be more specific, I went to Dragonblight, and that marked the beginning of one hell of a grind. But as you have probably deduced already from the length of the video, that's a story for another day. Thank you for watching. Farewell.